What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Lotus Ostakor, the one who never knows best, and in today's video I want to talk to you guys about Mortal Kombat and the improvements that I would hope, and a lot of us would hope, see be made to the game. So as I said before you here today, we have this tweet from USS Crazy Bat that reads, "The community has spoken. Mortal Kombat. This is a comprehensive list of quality of life improvements for single player, training, and online that players have recommended. Hopefully this feedback is useful to Ed Boon and company, tags Tyler Lansdowne and some of the other people who work on the game." So since I've been playing the game of Mortal Kombat 1, I've stated in my videos on Twitter, in my streams multiple times, that I think the gameplay is really good. I think they nailed it. The game is a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it way more than I thought I was going to. I have like 700 plus matches played in the game, and I didn't even think I'd get 700 matches in total played in the game if I'm keeping the full stack, because I just didn't know if I was going to stick to it for very long. But I think the gameplay is incredible. However, outside of that, the game feels kind of rough around the edges and unpolished, and there's a lot of things I feel like that need to be worked on. And so I was actually compiling a list in my own notepad of changes that I wanted to see to the game, and I had a plan to make a video talking about it, and trying to get the community, you know what I'm saying? I was going to do this in my own way, and they beat me to it, because literally as I had been compiling stuff, and the day that I was making my list in my notepad and getting prepared to record the video, this tweet dropped literally the same day. This tweet came out on October 4th, and I could show you guys in my notepad if I pull up. Actually, I don't know if the camera would focus, but the note is literally called "MK1 needs these changes," and the note is on October 4th. So yeah, and then like as I'm scrolling Twitter and shit and looking for stuff, this pops up. So I figured, you know what, why not make a video talking about it? I'm actually recording this live on my Twitch channel right now, twitch.tv/LotusOstakor. Links in the description down below. Just felt like I'd throw that out there. But yes, we're gonna go through this list and talk about all the changes and things that we want to see get made to the game, just to get more eyes on it. I'm sure somebody at NRS has already seen it, but get the community's eyes on it. Y'all can get some feedback, leave it in the comments down below. I'll talk about how I feel with some of these changes and see if there's anything left that I could add, because I haven't gone through this for myself yet. But yes, let me just give real quick, let me just swap on over to where we can see this just a tiny bit better. And here we go. Now that's zoomed in. All right, so Mortal Kombat 1, and they did it up all nice and pretty, because I wasn't gonna make a graphic that looks like this, but they went ahead and did us, because this looks mad official. This looks as if they dropped a patch. Like, this looks as if Mortal Kombat 1 put out a patch. So this document is an aggregate of community requested fixes and quality of life improvements to various aspects of the game. We hope this feedback will be useful to NRS and that it can be used to make sure MK1 is the best possible game it can be. And as somebody who's enjoying the game as much as I am, I really hope that this feedback is taken into consideration and is applied to the game in a future patch, because I want to see this game thrive, succeed, and just do well. And I want to continue to play and enjoy it. But that's kind of hard to do right now because of certain aspects of the game, but we're going to get to that as we go through. So here's some general quality of life fixes that would like to be seen. A scroll wheel in the shop menus. We're not going to read every single thing, maybe all the way through, just because I feel like that would take a long time. Well, I mean, I talk and read pretty fast, so maybe not. We'll see what we can skim through and the things that we're going to focus on a lot more. But this is just some general stuff. Scroll in the shop menus, because people aren't aware that certain characters have more than 6 items for purchase, which I'll be honest, this was something that I kind of missed out on as well, which is like, it's kind of just your own fault. This is really just user error, but like there's some characters that have more than what you see initially, and you have to like scroll down more, but a scroll wheel would help, mitigate some of that. Offline content and inventory, many have reported they cannot access some of their purchased content. So yeah, this is just something that they kind of need to rework. Visible locked items and your ability to customize. There's currently a perceived lack of content in the way of palettes and gear pieces, as well as transparency in how to acquire them. This can be brought to parity with MK11, which listed the means to acquire locked gear. For on-disc items that have yet to officially be revealed, they can be listed as coming soon, etc. And this is just in terms of just like the different costumes and gear pieces you can equip to your characters. I'm somebody who's a huge fan of customizing characters in any game, but in Mortal Kombat as well. So just more transparency on like the gear pieces that will be available, how you acquire them, etc. would just make for some more fun experience and for the people who enjoy that type of thing. Hitting moves to the HUD. This is a big one. This is a big one for me and for a lot of players who are newer or for the first time trying to take a more serious approach to Mortal Kombat. In previous games that NRS has made, when you're in training mode, you would normally have the ability to pin a combo string or special move input to the HUD. This is useful for learning your special moves, your strings, how certain combos work, etc. And it just helps apply like a visual aid to training mode to help you learn what you're doing. I can't really think off the top of my head of other games that have a feature like this, but other games should have a feature. Actually, Tekken has something similar to this, because in Tekken, you can go into training mode and you can pin something from your moves list to the top of the screen. And used to be able to do this in NRS games. I don't know why they took it out in this game, but it's something I feel like they should bring back. I'm at the point now where I'm learning enough to where I don't really need it, but I really wish they would have had it at the beginning. And I think it would still be useful for a lot of people. Then we have a couple of things here about intro dialogue, because the intro dialogue doesn't really play in the ranked matches, which is, I don't think it's that big of a deal, but it'd be nice if they included it. Just the thing is, like, it probably gets skipped if it was skippable most of the time anyway, but it'd just be a cool little touch. Costume loadouts as well. MK1 supports a favorite system and customization that allows players to randomly cycle through a range of palettes and gear for variety. However, we are hoping that something similar to MK11 can be implemented, saving 3 or more costume presets that can be selected during character select. And again, I wish this was the case as well. This is a feature that you can see in a game like Tekken 7, where you have a bunch of different character slots where you can customize your characters. Maybe I worded that poorly. You have a bunch of different slots for customization for your characters. You can make a bunch of different custom palettes, whether it be this costume with this color, or this exact same costume with a slightly different color, or this completely different outfit and whatever hairstyles, whatever. And there's not a whole lot of costumes and pieces and things like that in the game right now. I'm sure there'll be more in the future, but there's enough to where it's like I might want to have different presets that I can choose from at character select. And right now that doesn't exist in the game, so that would be a nice feature as well. The shrine. Currently the shrine only allows 1 roll at a time. I said this from the get-go. The shrine takes too long to sit through and spend your coins. There needs to be a feature where I could spend 10,000 coins at once for 10 rolls all at once. It's just kind of a pain. It's just kind of a nuisance to spend your coins at the shrine. It's just kind of a painstaking process. So the ability to spend more than 1,000 coins at once would be greatly appreciated. Outro skip, the ability to skip the character outros, which like I said with the character dialogue and intros, if it's skippable, it's going to get skipped. But just, yeah, again, it's more important at the end of the match than it is at the beginning, because you normally want to skip and just hurry and get back into the next match, especially if you lost. You trying to hit that rematch button as quickly as possible. You feel me? Then Mastery XP. Rework Mastery XP for slightly faster progression. They include XP buffs / multipliers, purchases using excess coins or seasonal currency. Not a huge deal to me, but I have seen a lot of people complaining about the grind that it takes to master your character, which this one I don't necessarily agree with. And I'm not going to agree with everything that's on this list, but I'm going to agree with most of the things on this list. But I feel like it should be something that you kind of like have to work toward and grind toward. Maybe it could be a little bit faster, I guess, but I don't know. It's called mastery for a reason. I feel like you should be mastering your character, and there should be a bit of a level up in the grind. But I'm definitely the outlier on this, because I'm the type of player and person in gaming who enjoys the grind. In gaming, most people don't, so I understand. Then notification clear. The ability to clear notifications from customizing collection would just be useful. If you guys didn't know about the notification feature, I wouldn't blame you. The menu system could use a bit of work in MK and how you navigate and figure things out and find out where everything is, because there's certain stuff that you probably just didn't notice was there if you're not looking for it, you know? But that's the first page, and I believe we have 2 more pages to go through. Just go ahead and do this real quick. Invasions, fast travel between nodes. I actually have not played a whole lot of invasion mode for myself, so I don't have a whole lot to comment on when it comes to this, because I touched it for maybe 3 minutes myself just to see what it was kind of like. And I haven't been really grinding or playing it. I haven't done anything outside of casuals, training mode, and ranked matches for myself. But fast travel between nodes, preview rewards in gateway nodes and towers, bird's eye view and a zoomed out view, because it's just the ability to just kind of zoom out and just be able to see more of the stage in the map, I guess would be very useful. Increased speed of camera rotation. Again, it's one of those things where it was kind of slow, I felt like, so that it could be sped up. Revised talisman drops and management. Many players report having to constantly delete talismans after completing a node. Inventory space could be expanded, or talisman drop rates could be lowered to counter this. Again, as somebody who hasn't played invasion mode, I don't have a whole lot to comment on with this, but it seems as though like there's a really high drop rate for talismans. You constantly have to go back in, delete stuff to make more space for more, and a bigger inventory and a better way to manage those would probably help out a lot. Clear the indicators and completed paths, tracking of stats per mesa, less secret fights and increased rewards. Because apparently the secret fights, there's a lot of those apparently. I don't know, apparently many players have reported frustration at the amount of secret fights effectively doubling completion time of a mesa. So again, I guess this is just a matter of like people just not wanting to have to grind as much, and I can't really fault them or blame them for that. So just optimizing, like streamlining that whole process would probably be beneficial for the game and for the experience of the majority of players. And then allowing change of direction while between nodes and implement an AI fighter feature. Now this is interesting. Some players who prefer to use AI fighters for grinding in Injustice 2 and MK11 have brought up their absence as a miss. Oh, I forgot about this because I used this in Injustice 2. I forgot you could send in an AI fighter to like do stuff for you and get like gear pieces and shit like that. I completely forgot about that feature. Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. It's also, it would be great for content as well, because like, I mean, y'all know from like my background and like the type of community that I'm from, like having the computer fight each other and like commentate over it is a style of content that actually people really enjoy. And you could do stuff like that in the invasions and whatnot. It could be kind of fun to see what happens with the AI fighters and whatnot. And actually, is calm versus calm something that you can do in this game? Because if not, that's another feature that I feel like would be fun to add. Like a lot of people probably don't see the use in that or the utility in that, but just from a content creator perspective, it could just be fun for the sake of like doing it on stream, having the chat vote on predictions on which player is going to win, which computer is going to win, and then obviously turn that into YouTube content. Like again, it's content perspective. I think it's cool. I think it would be a fun feature. I have to look. I haven't even checked to see if you can do that in this game, but I don't think that you can. Yeah, and then we get to training mode. So again, one of the biggest things that this game is lacking, or like one of the biggest areas that needs refinement, is the training mode. I'm gonna be honest, I think the training mode kind of sucks in this game. And I have my fair share of things that I want to see improved, but I think that we will see a lot of that here in the list. So a quick cameo select and practice menu in the style of MKX allow players to quickly change cameo as they would a variation for practice options. That was pretty self-explanatory. Directional reset. This one is a huge one for me. Huge one for me. Allow players to press the reset button in combination with a direction, placing them and their opponent in the respective corner. If you guys played Dragon Ball Fighters, this is a feature that you're very accustomed with. Some of you might not know. Most of you should though. So as you know, in Mortal Kombat and in most fighting games, if you're on a PlayStation, you hit the touchpad and that resets training mode for you, right? You go back to whatever position you were set in. In every other fighting game I play right now, or that I have played, if you hold left and touch the touchpad, you'll go to the left side of the stage. If you hold right and touch the touchpad, you'll go to the right side of the stage. If you hold up and hit the touchpad, you and the computer will swap places. So you'll go to like 2-player side if you're on 1-player side. You know what I'm saying? That does not exist in this game. It's a dearly missed feature for me. It's very annoying. It's very annoying to have to go into the menu, change the positioning, change which side you want to play it on, confirm it, then back out, then reset, and then you're where you want. It's like, it's so convoluted. Like it just adds so much extra time and it's just a hassle. Like, yeah, it's at first world problems. Of course it is. Is it that big of a deal? I guess no, not really in all reality, but it's just like, come on, bro. Every other modern fighting game does it. NRS, y'all can do better. That's a training mode buff we really need. Detailed string information, punishment information, i.e. punishable gaps and strings. There's a lot of information that's missing when it comes to some of these strings in the game. And while they do a better job than some games, it could be better improved still. Specific character options. Characters with secondary meter or installs should have the option to fill them to capacity as with regular meter. Characters like Garrus should also have specific HUD elements in regular gameplay to indicate the state of their install. This is very akin to like in DBFZ, where people have been saying for years that there should be an indicator on the screen that shows what level of potential unleashed Gohan has. The only indication you have for that is that yes, when he levels up, it says level 1, level 2, level 3 when he does the super, but obviously that notification goes away once the animation is over. And the only way you can distinguish whether or not he's leveled up or not is the lightning around him. But he's a character that has 7 levels, technically 8 if you're counting level 0 as a level, and you have no idea which one he's at beyond the level 0 outside of the fact that he has the lightning. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I can understand wanting something like this, especially as it pertains to certain characters and how that install affects their gameplay and what they're capable of doing. So again, quality of life feature that would just make it better for not only the people fighting the character, but even the person playing the character. Because in the heat of the moment, I can see how you could forget. It's like, damn, did I do it or not already? Like what level am I? Like I don't remember. You know what I'm saying? And that matters a lot when it comes to the gameplay, both how you fight it and how you use it. So reduce auto block reset. After the training dummy has blocked a follow-up, shorten the reset time before they will allow themselves to be hit again. This isn't one that I really can comment on. I don't really have experience with this or like an issue with this particularly. So I don't really have a whole lot to say. A disable HUD option for players capturing footage in a cinematic style. This could be a welcome feature. Again, especially as a content creator, the ability to remove everything from the HUD so I can take screenshots for my thumbnails. Yeah, I would love that. And even just for people who like to create like cinematic like videos and stuff and just create something that looks really, really cool. The ability to remove all information from the HUD and just have the stage and the characters would be a very, very, very welcome feature. I would, please, I would love that. I would love that a lot. Moving on. Oh, one more thing that I don't see written down, which it might be on the next page. Yeah, okay, here it is. I was gonna say it. I should be able to be in training mode while I queue up for a match, whether that's casual or ranked. Again, most other modern fighting games do this, DBFZ, Street Fighter 6, whatever the case may be. I can queue up even like Grand Blue and DNF Duel. I can select which type of online match I want to queue up for and sit in training mode while I wait. Granted, the wait times right now in this game aren't particularly long. The game's fresh, new, and exciting. There's a lot of players, but inevitably, as with any game, particularly with a fighting game, the play base will die down a little bit, especially as you rank up and stuff. You know, matchmaking isn't going to be as quick and snappy, and there's going to be wait times. You know what I'm saying? That's just the nature of the beast, right? And it is what it is. So it's just like, I just want to be able to be in training mode just to move around and do something, as opposed to just sitting on this like boring menu just waiting for match to be found. But that's, you know what I'm saying, I think we all agree on that. Anyway, traditional casual rooms / lobbies per the NRS standard, featured since MK9, useful for getting friend groups together or running online tournaments. Don't understand why this isn't in the game at launch. This just feels like a feature that, this is one of those things where it's just like, you had it in a previous game, it's not in this game, I don't know why. Wi-Fi filter or connection strength filter. Many FGC players would prefer the option to filter out Wi-Fi connections entirely. However, given that MK has a strong casual player base and the difficulties some may have in setting up a wired connection, a simple connection strength filter featured in other modern titles could be a suitable compromise. So this is something I've seen a lot of discourse around, a lot of conversation around, because people who are on Wi-Fi feel very strongly about their Wi-Fi being good enough and it being discriminatory, etc., etc. Here's what I have to say about that. Obviously, with a game like this that is predominantly played on consoles, you're going to have a lot of people who are on Wi-Fi, and people have all sorts of excuses, some justified or like some valid, some not, or justification on why they're on Wi-Fi and how they can't be on a wired connection, etc., etc. And I get that. My thing is that, like, the connection is so important, and especially in a game like this where honestly the netcode isn't that good, and I think we'll touch on that a little bit somewhere in here. But connection matters a lot, and currently in the game it exists to where you can decline matches. In casual, you can decline anyone you want, right? If the ping is too high for you, if somebody's on Wi-Fi, you can just straight up decline them. But in ranked matches, you can only decline somebody, I believe, if their ping is above 150. I think that's too high. I am personally of the belief that it should be lowered to about 100. If somebody's ping is 100 or higher, you should be able to decline their match. Because in my experience, and I think in most of you would agree is experience, anything, once you start hitting that 100 mark, it's kind of rough. I would say it's even kind of unplayable. Again, maybe that improves with a patch where they kind of tighten up the netcode a little bit, but right now, it's kind of, especially the Wi-Fi players, because again, like it fluctuates, it's not consistent, it's not stable, and that's why people want some sort of distinction. And again, like this says, there should be an ability to filter it. Like in Tekken, for example, right? You can say, okay, I only want connections that are 3 bars or higher. I only want connections that are 4 bars or higher, right? So it's like you can still accept Wi-Fi matches, but their connection streak has to be at least this strong for me to even want to chance it. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's a fair compromise. Also, I feel like there's a lot of people who are like, but like, so we're just not supposed to be allowed to play the game and and like there's this weird elitism and It's like, I think people who are on Wi-Fi have this really strange perspective on it, and like I get it. There are some people out there who legitimately just cannot have a wider connection, but I'd be willing to bet that the majority of people on consoles are on Wi-Fi. Y'all could just play with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, I play against people who are on Wi-Fi all the time. There were points in my life in the past where I was on Wi-Fi. You know what I'm saying? I had a wired connection for several years now, and I've never looked back, but it's typically a bad experience. It just is what it is. But I don't think there'd be any shortage of players to play with if Wi-Fi and wired connections were like not separate, but wired players were able to decline more of them. I don't think there'd be any shortage of players. If anything, we'd be the ones struggling to find matches, I feel like. That's just me. Anyway, a rework of the Koth lobbies, King of the Hill, allow invites to casual Koth rooms in order to quickly fill the capacity. Also include emote and chat from previous NRS games. Again, this stuff from a previous game that was lacking, and yeah, just the online in terms of like playing with your friends. One of the things more than anything else that's going to keep a fighting game alive is letting people play with their friends in a quick and easy manner. I don't know why so many games struggle with this aspect of like having functional lobbies and just like a simple room system to be able to invite friends and play online. I don't get it. I don't. But hopefully this is something that they fix. Online practice during queue, we already spoke about that. Loading indicator. Some players have highlighted the need for a visible loading indicator during online load times. This is further highlighted on PC, where different storage devices and load times will slow both players down. A high-speed SSD against HDD, for example. HDD, for example. I have zero experience on the PC port. I don't have a lot to comment on. Also, I don't know if we saw it here in the Wi-Fi filter connection strength filter. No, we didn't. Okay, so something else that I personally want that it doesn't seem like, oh no, here it is, in-match ping display. I was gonna get to that. I want to be able to see the connection strength, the ping, and the rollback frames in game. That's just me. It doesn't have to be all that, but at the bare minimum, I want to be able to see the ping in match. I just feel like it's useful information, and it doesn't seem like it'd be that difficult to implement. Like, it's already there, you just have to let me see it. You know what I'm saying? So is what it is. Win odds, I don't think this is necessary. Personally, this is one of those few things that I agree with, because I think this would just cause people to cherry pick and just decline matches where they don't think they'd be able to win. If you don't know what win odds is, real quick, I guess I'll gloss over it. Basically, it would, from my understanding and my recollection, it would display what the odds are or the chance you have of winning the match. And like, if you win, it's like, oh shit, you beat the odds. And if not, it's like, oh yeah, well, that was to be expected. And while to some degree, it's like, oh, it's like, yo, I wasn't even supposed to beat this player and I won, and you feel good on yourself, you feel good about yourself, pat yourself on the back. I think most people see the win odds and just go, oh, I'm expected to lose this match. Well, I'm just going to decline because I don't want to lose my points, or I don't want to lose the match, or I don't want to ruin my record. So I ain't really with it. Individual character rank / matchmaking a la Tekken and several other games as well. I compare things to Tekken a lot right now because a lot of these are features that Tekken 7 and Tekken 8 have or will have, you know what I'm saying? So individual character rank / matchmaking, some players have floated the idea of separating KO rank by character so they are not immediately dropped into the deep end when playing a new character. And yeah, I would just take a page out of Tekken's book, where it's like, if you're this rank with a character, you don't start at the very beginning because clearly you know a lot about how to play the game. We're not going to start you up here either because you're playing a new character, and so we're not going to put you on people at the exact same level as you who are playing their main character, and you're just going to get bodied. So we'll put you a few ranks lower, not at the lowest rank, not the highest rank, but a few ranks lower than your main, so that way you can queue up, because you clearly have an understanding of the game to some degree, and you'll play against people who are competent, but you're not going to body the people down here or get bodied by the people up here. I don't know the exact ranks off the top of my head on how Tekken does it, but like, if you're a warrior rank in Tekken, then like, you know, then your characters will all start off at like brawler, or, you know, what is it, grandmaster or something, you know what I'm saying? And so on and so forth. And the higher you go, the lower the floor is for where your character starts. I think this would be useful. I just feel like this is something that like all fighting games could really use for the most part. Maybe not all fighting games, but a lot of fighting games could use. So yeah, particularly like, this isn't really a team game or a tag game, but like team games, I could see where it'd be like where DBFZ wouldn't have something like this, but like more of a 1v1 style game, it should probably have it. Also, my necklace is a little messed up. Sorry about that. Anywho, online rewards / dailies for Dragon Crystals. MK11 offered time crystal rewards for playing ranked matches and for successful win streaks. These would be welcome incentives in MK1. Yeah, speaks for itself. I would agree. Online character stats. Individual character stat display instead of most used character. In-match ping display, we discussed that already. Change character after lost match. Allow players to switch characters during a set, not just their cameo, as was standard in MK11. And I mean, this is one of those things that like I kind of want to see in the game. I can see why some people wouldn't, because being able to counterpick with a cameo in some instances can be what makes or breaks a set, and especially like when you're in ranks, like you're locked into this one thing. And this matters even more when like, depending on whether or not you know, your main character is at the same rank or a lower rank than the character you're trying out now. Like, I'm main Raiden right now, but if I'm trying out Liu Kang, you know what I'm saying, being able to swap back to Raiden, because like if I jump in a rank right now with Liu Kang, I'm gonna get matched up against people who are my rank, but I'm not ready for that. So it's like, I lose, I'm salty, let me swap over to my Raiden. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, I'm on my main, now I'm gonna win this. Or at least that's the idea behind it, right? But yeah, I'm a big fan of character select after a match. So I personally want to see this. May or may not agree with this one, but I do. It is odd to me to some degree that they allow cameo swapping, but not character swapping though. Not really sure what the rationale or the idea is behind it, but it is what it is. An input queue issue. Many players have reported that their inputs are spilling over after an interaction is completed. Example, inputting Ice Clone as Sub-Zero, jumping and being hit. After recovery on the other side, Sub-Zero will do an Ice Ball, the exact same input as reverse side clone. Example 2, releasing block before jumping, but character will up block instead. Yeah, there already has been a patch, by the way. I'm not sure how many things that are written here might have already been fixed. I don't think there was no, the patch was a couple of days before this came out, right? yeah, so I know people were talking about like the player 1, player 2 like bug that got patched pretty quickly. They were on the ball with that one kind of right away. But yeah, in in-game mute options, players on console have reported no built-in mute options. Kombat League gets salty. The way my PlayStation is set up, people can't hear me, I can't hear them. It's all muted. My controller is muted by default. All that stuff is turned off for me, so I can't hear it. But an ability to do it in game would be a very welcome feature, so that people don't have to go to their dashboard and go in their settings, and then, you know what I'm saying, just again, quality of life stuff. And I believe that is nearly the end. So then we get to the PC bugs and fixes. Again, I don't play the game on PC, but we'll go ahead and go through this anyway. 60 frames per second mode allows 60 FPS during menus, intros, fatalities, and fatal blows. Player 2 has no customization. Player 2 is forced to use default customizations. Could be shared inventory with P1/current login. It's really strange. I don't know why that's the case. Graphics/audio settings reset. Some have reported graphics and audio settings resetting after closing and restarting the game, and animation glitches. Reptiles' lizard lips twitch constantly. DA Scorpion's mouth does not animate, and some lip flaps are missing during in-game taunts. So again, just some bugs and fixes that need to be worked out. All in all, though, this basically touches on everything that I personally would have had to mention. And yeah, there was a couple of things where I wasn't totally tapped into, but for the most part, this covers a lot of things that the game needs to work on. So I don't know how you guys feel, but like I said, I'm in agreement with a lot of the things that are on this list. And if there's anything else that you guys have found or feel like the game needs to work on, or needs to be improved, any bugs, glitches, feel free to leave it in the comment section down below, so we can get, like I said, get the community's input, get some more eyes on this, and whatever the case may be, to help improve the game and bring it to the best state that it could possibly be. But with that, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'm losing my voice at this point. I've been talking a lot and talking very quickly, and I drank no water during this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Hit this video with a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already, so you can stay tuned for all this content up and I'm bringing you. And with all that being said, that's pretty much off today. And remember, nothing can happen to you from the bad. Later.